Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Lambda Ethereum Consensus Daily. And as always, let me share the YouTube link, Telegram. Great, that's it. So, updates. Yesterday, I was the whole day debugging the issues related to the node running in Sepolia, right? So there were two issues. The first one was related to the sync of blocks hanging and not continue going forward. That was the first one. The other one that was the one I was mostly focused yesterday was related to what I thought was being caused by the prune, and that we like lost some of the blocks in the calculation when we after we do a prune. So I started with that yesterday. I went through the whole day trying to test a couple of things. One of the first things that I discovered was that it wasn't related specifically to the prune. So it was happening at the same time. So I always saw the logs one after the other, but that was because the error, for some reason, happened at the finalization of a checkpoint. It doesn't happen in every epoch, but when we finalize a checkpoint, this error happened. I been debugging the
Sorry,
issue.
does this happen every time we finalize an epoch, or
No,
only but
no.
sometimes? Like only when
It
finalizing,
happens,
but not every time.
it happens sometimes, and it happens most of the times, but it doesn't happen every time. I was trying to add a lot of logs and make sure where this was happening. By the end of the day, the information that I could recompile was that, at least for what I saw, the issue happened in a particular block that doesn't nothing to do with the previous finalization checkpoint, that it wasn't printed out in any case. It was like in the middle of the slots that should be there. And I have a theory first that it might be a recomputing of the head that we, for some kind of reason, missed, and we end up with an old block that wasn't the thing. I was comparing what was the root that was causing this issue. The root was still in Sepolia. It was already passed, so it was there. Um, Mostly the issues happened like between 30 and 60 slots previous the one we are right now. And yeah, I still didn't figure out what's happening. What I decided near end of day was to shift in focus and start working on the other half of the issue. Why? Because that made my testings go slower. So one of the things that was happening was that I need to start the test again because I had some information and I want to see other, and then the sync hang and I need to restart and restart. So that was the main reason why I shifted focus to the other issue that I have already a workaround, so I pushed the workaround just now. It was related to peers. One of the things that was happening was that when we penalize a peer right now, it's like completely removed from the peer. So that's an issue, especially in Sepolia, because Sepolia is not working as mainnet is working. So what happens is that we receive, like, I don't know, five or six peers. They like doesn't respond immediately, and given that they doesn't respond immediately, we punish them, we penalize, we remove it from the peer book, and we end up with an empty peer book. And what is happening when we end up with an empty peer book is that there is a to do in one of the functions, is the get peer function, that I assume in another moment it was outside of libp2p, but right now is part of a handle response. And what happens is that if it doesn't have any peers, it likes sleep for 100 milliseconds, and then tries to see a new peer. And the issue is this is a recursive call, so we are not letting libp2p get any more information from anywhere, so it gets there, and yeah, nothing happens. So
Yeah, I saw that at some point. That's not a good design. That's something that we should change. Like,
yes,
if there's a gen server outside of this that is handling peers, in this case it's sleep P2P, could be something else. Like, the sleep shouldn't be done manually, and less, like even less with a recursive call. I saw that, felt the same technical debt. Like, I'm sorry
no,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
not saying it now, but
and it was noted. So there was a comment regarding, hey, this should be done asynchronously. So yeah, yeah, it's there. What I done, I didn't solve the issue, because solving the issue, as you mentioned, requires another set of things. So for a quick workaround, I made two small change that let me continue testing. So one was I stopped removing peers when I penalize them. So what we do is, like, they start with a 100 score. I, like, arbitrary set a penalized score of 5, and every time we penalize the score, it decreases. When it comes to 0, I remove the peer. That was one of the things. The other thing was that we were retrying the both the blob request and the blob request immediately, right? So we try to get it. If they don't respond, we retry again immediately, without stopping, without waiting for some time. So
are you sure
this is,
about that one? I mean, I get it. So, like, we retry immediately without, like, waiting for some moments to have new. Yeah, yeah, that's another issue. I'm glad that you saw it. Yeah.
yes, yes. So what I did in that one, this is not the final solution, it's just a workaround. I just sleep for 1 or 2 seconds and wait for the other one. Why? Because in this case, the peers are not the problem. The problem is that we are, like, removing them too fast. So just to have a workaround, I did that. What needs to be done is we need to have a way to stop what we are doing, resume into libp2p, and then make libp2p continue with this in another moment. That's what it needs to do in both cases. In the case where we have no peers, and in the case where we need to retry. So both things need to stop, make libp2p continue with what he's doing, and then come back to us with a new request. So that's what it needs to be done. It's more complex than what I did. So I just did this as a workaround for now to continue with the testing. So I'm testing that this is working. If this is working, this will let me continue with the other issue, and then, like, wrap up both, and make a good solution. But at least one of the two, already I already know what it is, and this almost make the other issue not a problem, because the other issue was a problem due to not having a way to continue when we try to sync again. So the problem was we lost one of the blocks, then everything crashed. We need to request the new things, everything hangs. So that was what's happening. Given that this could be worked around for now, the other issue is not so critical. There is something bad there for sure, but it's not so critical. So yeah, I'm going to continue working on the two, and I don't know, in the afternoon make a weight balance of, okay, I want to have this already solved because this allows us to not being hung in the sink, or I want to continue to solve this issue. So that will be what I felt when I continue working on the other one, because at least for now I don't have a clear path to the solution of the first one. Yes, to the second one, but not to the first one. So yeah, that's my current status.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the detailed explanation. Like, mm, just my opinion. On this, I think that it's great that you found a solution for the for the peer related one. Um, it might not be the best peer scoring, but it is a peer scoring, and we didn't
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
any before. So, yeah, kudos to that. Besides the scoring issue and having some level of back off for retries, which is nice as well. Um, so I think that solves most of it. So that's something that I saw before, but it was like lower priority before. If that makes testing the other one harder, then I wouldn't say it's an issue. I would just like merge the fix, and just for local testing purposes, you may either remove the
Yeah,
fix or
awesome.
something like that. But I think that like there's still a lot to be gained from having the fix of the second issue in place in the main branch. Um, what Because it also allows you to, like, yeah, as you said before, iterate faster, retry multiple times, not have your attention focused on if every deploy was correct or not. And I think that we just didn't see that before because we weren't working on Sepolia. So in
Yeah.
general, yeah, in general, like mainnet nodes were far more responsive, and yeah, we just didn't get that problem before. I mean, at least not as severe as what you saw. And there's also a lot of validators, so it was less likely that you had problems with validators because there was always someone that was like giving you good responses pretty fast.
Yes.
Aside from the historical node, yeah, I think that, yeah, like the progress that you made is great. Trying to think if there's something else to discuss about, but I think everything is pretty straightforward. Um, I think that what I would do is I would like, if it's very hard to reproduce, like the other issue, I would move to something else like performance. But if it's something that you still, after the second fix, if you still see the other one consistently, I would go to it. Like, if there's an issue and it's correctly prioritized and noted, and everything that you understood and did research on is reflected on the issue, I think that, yeah, like we can continue with other stuff. Like performance is very important. Not as we said many times before, it's not important because of performance per se, but because it doesn't allow us to perform validator duties on time. And if we cannot perform validator duties on time, we cannot test validator duties on Holesky, for instance. And if we cannot test validator duties, then it's not a performance issue. It's effectively blocking us from launching an MVP. So yeah, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
context there. But
No. Yeah, completely agree. And yeah, completely agree. What I'm going to do is then probably separating these two issues, continue with the one I already spot on, and have a good solution for this one, make the PR ready for review, and start looking at what happens with this fixed, what happens to the other issue. And then we can prioritize, as you mentioned, if the other one it's important to take it right now, and we can like add all the information that I have as of now and just prioritize it for later. So yeah, completely agree with that, Tommy. I'm going to then completely focus on this particular issue, solve it correctly, and not as the workaround that I just push it. And and yeah, open the PR for review for that, and then prioritize if we need to continue with the other one, or the other one it's not a big issue now that we don't have the scene hanging. So thanks for all the context and explanation also. So great. And yeah, I don't think I have anything more for the updates. I don't know if you have anything else, Tommy.
no, nothing else.
Awesome. So, well, I going to continue with this one. I hope to have it ready for review end of day today, or maybe tomorrow, because yeah, I want to give it a good solution, and probably it will take a lot of changes. So yeah, I'm going to look at that, but I hope to have the peer ready for review as soon as possible. So thanks, Tommy, and see you everyone tomorrow. So have a good one.